Have you ever wondered why the Oracle of Delphi declared Socrates the wisest man in ancient Greece? This isn't a question to be taken lightly. After all, we're talking about a man who never wrote a book, held no political power, and ended up being sentenced to death by his own people. Yet Socrates remains one of the most influential figures in history, with his ideas shaping the very foundation of Western philosophy. So, what made Socrates so special? Well, it was his unique approach to understanding the world, an approach that became known as the Socratic method. This method was groundbreaking because it was all about questioning everything, even the things that were considered common knowledge. Socrates believed that we should never just accept something at face value. Instead, he urged us to probe deeper, to challenge our assumptions and beliefs, and to always seek the truth. And it was this relentless pursuit of truth that made Socrates such a towering figure in philosophy. He was not content with simple answers. He wanted to understand the very essence of things, to peel back the layers of complexity and reveal the fundamental truths that lay beneath. But Socrates' method was not just about intellectual curiosity, it was also a path towards wisdom. For Socrates, wisdom was not about knowing a lot of facts or having a lot of knowledge. Instead, wisdom was about understanding the limits of our knowledge, recognizing our ignorance, and constantly striving to learn and grow. This is why the Oracle of Delphi declared Socrates the wisest man in ancient Greece, because he was the one who understood that true wisdom comes from questioning, from seeking truth, and from never being satisfied with easy answers. And this is where we begin our journey today, exploring the life and teachings of Socrates. We will delve into his philosophy, his method, and most importantly, the life-changing lessons that he left behind. Lessons that are as relevant today as they were over 2,000 years ago. Let us delve into the 5 life-changing lessons from Socrates that can transform your perspective towards life. Scene script. Socrates once said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." The concept Socrates is introducing here is what modern philosophers refer to as intellectual humility. This is the understanding that our knowledge is limited, that we are fallible, and that there is always more to learn. It's about accepting that we don't have all the answers, and that's okay. In a world where people are often rewarded for appearing certain and confident, admitting that we don't know something can be challenging. It can feel like a sign of weakness, but Socrates saw it differently. He viewed it as a sign of strength, a sign of wisdom. This mindset, this intellectual humility, is not about doubting ourselves or our abilities. It's not about being passive or indecisive. It's about being open to new ideas, new perspectives, new possibilities. It's about being curious, questioning, and willing to learn. Acknowledging our ignorance can lead us on a journey of continuous learning and growth. It can inspire us to ask questions, to seek out new knowledge, to explore unfamiliar territory. It can prompt us to challenge our assumptions, to test our beliefs, to rethink our views. This journey is not always easy. It can be uncomfortable, it can be unsettling, it can be humbling, but it can also be enlightening. It can broaden our horizons, deepen our understanding, and enrich our lives. So how can we cultivate this intellectual humility? How can we adopt this Socratic mindset? It starts with acknowledging our ignorance. It starts with saying, "I don't know." It starts with embracing uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. It starts with being willing to listen, to learn, and to grow. So the next time you find yourself feeling certain, confident, even cocky, remember Socrates. Remember that the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Remember that there is always more to learn. So, the first lesson from Socrates is to embrace our ignorance and never stop learning. Socrates believed that the unexamined life is not worth living. This statement, brimming with profound insight, underscores the importance of self-reflection and introspection in our lives. Self-reflection, akin to a mirror of the soul, allows us to gaze into our innermost self. It's this deep dive into our thoughts, feelings, and actions that can lead to self-improvement and a better understanding of ourselves. We start to perceive our strengths, our flaws, and the areas we need to improve upon. It's a journey of self-discovery that often leads to unexpected revelations about our true selves. Introspection, on the other hand, is like a compass guiding our moral and ethical choices. It helps us to define our values, our principles, and what we stand for. It's a process of questioning: why do we do what we do? What drives our actions? What are our motivations? These questions lead us to a clearer understanding of our personal ethos. Yet the significance of self-reflection and introspection is not confined to personal growth alone. It's a tool that lets us evaluate our interactions with others and our responses to various situations. It encourages empathy, understanding, and better communication, fostering healthier relationships. But the journey of self-examination isn't always comfortable. It can be challenging to confront our fears, insecurities, and imperfections. However, it's through this discomfort that we grow. We become more resilient, adaptable, and ultimately more prepared to face life's ups and downs. Moreover, self-examination can serve as a beacon, illuminating our life's path. It assists us in making informed decisions, steering us towards our goals and away from regret. It's about being conscious of our life's direction, rather than simply being carried along by the tide of circumstance. So, why does Socrates consider an unexamined life not worth living? Because without self-reflection and introspection, we risk living life on autopilot, detached from our true self and our potential. We miss the opportunity for self-improvement, enlightenment, and personal growth. Thus, the second lesson from Socrates is to regularly reflect upon our lives. Socrates advised us to find yourself, think for yourself. A seemingly simple statement, yet it carries profound wisdom that spans centuries. This lesson is about the power of independent thinking. But what does it mean to think for oneself? Our thoughts are the architects of our reality, the brushstrokes on the canvas of our lives. They shape our perceptions, our beliefs, and our actions. But often we let external influences dictate our thoughts. We let society's expectations, popular opinion, or the status quo guide our thinking. We become passengers in our own minds rather than the drivers. However, Socrates urges us to seize the reins. To think for ourselves is to question, to explore, to challenge. It's to step off the beaten path and venture into the wilderness of our own minds. It's about being curious, being open, and being brave enough to question even the most deeply ingrained beliefs. Why is this important? Because when we think for ourselves, we begin to discover who we truly are. We uncover our unique perspectives, our individual values, our distinct voices. We don't just accept things as they are, but we seek to understand why they are and whether they should be. We become creators, innovators, and pioneers. Independent thinking is not about being contrarian or rebellious for the sake of it. It's about seeking truth, understanding, and authenticity. It's about being true to ourselves, rather than conforming to what others expect of us. It's about cultivating a mind that is free, curious, and critical. Remember, every great idea, every revolutionary invention, every societal progress started with someone who dared to think differently, who dared to think for themselves. So, let's not be afraid to question, to explore, to challenge. Let's dare to think for ourselves. Hence, the third lesson from Socrates is to cultivate independent thinking. Because to think for oneself is not just an act of rebellion, it's an act of self-discovery. It's the key to finding ourselves in a world that too often tells us who we should be. Socrates viewed education as the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. This profound statement encapsulates Socrates' unique perspective on learning. He saw education not as a mere process of cramming facts into our minds, but as a journey of discovery, a spark that ignites the flame of curiosity and a love for acquiring knowledge. Socrates believed that true education should inspire us to ask questions and seek answers, fostering an insatiable thirst for understanding. It's not about memorizing dates, formulas, or definitions, but about developing an inquisitive mind that yearns to explore the world and its mysteries. In essence, education, according to Socrates, is about the kindling of a flame. It's about lighting that fire within us that drives us to learn, to question, to grow, and to become better versions of ourselves. This perspective encourages us to see every experience as an opportunity to learn and evolve. Therefore, the fourth lesson from Socrates is to view education as a journey of discovery. Socrates advised, "Be slow to fall into friendship, but once you are in, continue firm and constant. This profound wisdom from the ancient philosopher underscores the significance of mindful selection when it comes to our friendships. You see, friendships aren't something to be rushed into. Rather, they should be carefully cultivated over time. Consider this. Our friends significantly influence our lives. They can shape our thoughts, our actions, and ultimately, our destinies. Hence, it's important to choose those who inspire us, challenge us, and help us grow. But Socrates didn't just stop at the selection process. He emphasized that, once established, friendships require a firm and constant commitment. True friendships aren't fair-weather relationships. They thrive on loyalty, understanding, and mutual respect. They are a promise of unwavering support through life's ups and downs, a testament to human connection and solidarity. So the final lesson from Socrates is to value and invest in our friendships. Now, how can we apply Socrates' lessons in today's world? Let's take a moment to reflect on the wisdom of Socrates, a philosopher who lived over 2,000 years ago, yet whose teachings remain timeless and relevant in our modern world. First, we learned the importance of the Socratic question, a method of inquiry that encourages us to challenge our assumptions and beliefs. In a world filled with misinformation and fake news, this lesson is more critical than ever. By questioning our sources of information and the validity of our beliefs, we can discern truth from falsehood and make well-informed decisions. Then we delved into Socrates' assertion that the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. This humbling reminder nudges us to keep our minds open and embrace the constant pursuit of knowledge. In our fast-paced, ever-changing world, this lesson guides us to stay adaptable and eager to learn, be it in our careers or personal lives. The unexamined life is not worth living, Socrates taught. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's easy to lose sight of our purpose. However, by taking the time to reflect on our actions and motivations, we can live more authentic and fulfilling lives. To find yourself, think for yourself, a lesson urging us to cultivate independent thought. In an age of echo chambers and groupthink, it's essential to form our own opinions and stand up for what we believe in. Finally, Socrates believed that education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel. In a world that often equates education to the accumulation of facts, we're reminded that the true purpose of education is to ignite curiosity and foster a lifelong love for learning. So, as we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, let these lessons from Socrates guide us. They are not just philosophical musings, but practical tools for personal growth and societal progress. Remember, wisdom begins in wonder. So keep questioning, keep learning, and keep growing. That's the Socratic way.